What is up, my lovelies? Welcome to the Change Your Story podcast. I'm your host and transformation coach, Hannah Dawson. The purpose of this podcast is simple. It is to help you shift your perspective so that you can see yourself differently. Because when you see yourself differently, you begin choosing differently. And when you choose differently, you change your story. Because here's the thing, lasting transformation doesn't start in your body. It starts in your mind. And that's why we are here to help you build a fit mind, then a fit body, and ultimately a fit life. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is being recorded from my daughter's track meet in Calgary, and it's actually inspired by that. And I'm like, I have to share this because there's so many little life lessons in getting to watch my daughter compete. And just being able to be a mother to her. So I hope this episode resonates with you. I hope it shifts your perspective on yourself and empowers you on your journey. So let's get into it. So today, I'm watching my daughter get prepared for all her competitions that she has to do. She's doing the 100, the 300, a relay, the 200. And so, I'm watching her. I'm also listening to her, the way she speaks about herself, the way she competes other girls. And I just, I'm having those moments where I just want to be able to just reach into her mind and pull out every limited belief that she's ever had and replace it with truth, Because here's the thing, when I look at Madison, I don't see what she sees. I see strength. I see progress. I see determination. I see potential. I see a little girl or a teenage girl now who has improved so much over the last year. But here's the thing, when she looks at herself, she doesn't see that. She sees someone who isn't good enough. She says things like, I suck. I'm the worst. Everyone is better than me. They're faster than me. I don't want people to watch me. And every time she says those things, my heart just breaks because I wish just for 5 minutes I could, give her my brain. I could let her borrow my eyes. I wish she could see herself the way that I see her. Because if she could, she'd realize she is so capable of so much more than she's allowing herself to believe. And then something else hit me as I was thinking this, is how many of us are still living exactly like that. How many of us are walking through life with so much potential inside of us, but we are living according to a story that tells us we're not enough. Because here's the thing, it's not that we're living that way because we are not enough. It's because we can't see it. We can't see that we are. And the interesting thing is that, with Maddie, when we sat down with her coach recently to go over her season, he showed us all of her times. He showed us how she's improving, and overall how she's improved. And those, maybe the 200 or the 300, she's looking at, this time last year, it's still the same time, right? So she looks at one thing and she magnifies that. And so she confirms that she's not good enough. She's not improving. But here's the thing, when we zoomed out, the picture tells a completely different story, right? She's stronger, she's faster, she's more conditioned. So overall, she is improving. She's becoming a better athlete. Progress is happening. you know, even though she feels she can't see it because she's so focused on one tiny thing of not being enough that that's the lens that she keeps looking through, right? We also call this confirmation bias. We call this the RAS of the brain. It filters what our story, what our belief system. So if she doesn't feel good enough, she's going to find evidence that she's not. And I wish she could understand that, but teenagers. And sometimes we become adults that become that way too. And so, one thing that I would want to share with you is how often are you doing the exact same thing on your journey with your relationship with yourself, with life? That you look at one thing that didn't change, the number on the scale, the promotion you didn't get, the business that hasn't grown yet, the race you didn't win, the body we don't have yet. And we completely overlook everything that has changed. You've become more resilient. You've learned more. You've grown more. You've built better habits. You've shown up in areas that maybe you wouldn't have shown up before. You've become someone different. But because we are staring at like this one tiny area that hasn't caught up yet, we convince ourselves that we're failing, that we're not good enough. And so, another thing, as I was thinking about this came to me, and I started thinking back to when Madison did gymnastics. I'm going somewhere with this. All right. So when she did gymnastics when she was younger, she did it for many years. If you haven't seen my daughter, she's now 5'8". She has always been super tall. My husband's 6'4". And if you know the sport of gymnastics, most competitors that go far in it, not saying that tall people can't, they're very short. Like I think the top is like, she's like 4'9". All right. So Maddie absolutely loved gymnastics. She loved learning walkover. She loved like doing all of the things, but competition after competition, it would leave her disappointed because she never got a medal. She never seems to place in the top category that she wanted to. And so every competition, it would be like ingrained in her, learning that she's not good enough or that she doesn't get a medal or that she's not capable enough, even though she did amazing. Because she didn't play, she didn't get that medal. She just kept, feeling disappointed. She'd work hard, she'd practice, she'd hope, and then she wouldn't get the medal that she wanted, wouldn't get any at all. And, she would go home crying, and it broke my heart because, to her that meant no medal, all the work, even though she's progressing, she's not good enough. She's not hitting a certain standard. And then it's, started to make me think, this wasn't actually about track for her. So when I'm watching her feel negative and put herself down and expect that she's not going to win, that she's not good enough, it, made me think that her brain has been conditioned from gymnastics, sorry, right? Our brains are incredibly smart. They don't just, remember what happened, they remember what it felt like. So the disappointment when she would compete in gymnastics of not getting anything or not doing good enough is now conditioned her for track, right? And so here's what I'm going with this is that our nervous system is always trying to protect us no matter what, right? So if hoping once led to disappointment when she was younger, she would hope that she would get it and she wouldn't. And then she'd feel disappointment. If giving everything you once had ended in heartbreak, stay with me here. If putting yourself out there once ended in embarrassment, our brain, your brain, it starts creating a story. We start getting these stories, right? That don't hope too much, don't expect too much, don't believe too much, protect yourself, play it safe, lower your expectations. That way, if it doesn't happen, at least it won't hurt as much. And I was thinking about this because, I would say to her, like when even like she wouldn't want our whole family to come. She'd be like, I don't want you guys all to watch. I said, why? Like, we love watching you. Well, I suck and I'm not going to do good anyways. Right. So she would say things like that. And, and then, I said to her too one time, I said, yeah, but, just do your personal best. I forget how she said it. Something along the lines, I'm not going to place anyways. Everybody's faster than me. So she's already speaking that she's not going to, do good. And so she's essentially just preparing her heart that if she doesn't. So, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. I'll come back to that in a moment. I'm thinking about how many of us do the exact same thing in life, right? Maybe you're not actually afraid of failing. And here's what I was seeing with her. Maybe she's not afraid of failing. Maybe you're afraid of hoping, because hope makes disappointment possible. When we hope, that means that maybe there's a chance that it won't happen. So instead of risking disappointment, we lower our expectations. Yeah? Do you feel that? We lower our expectations. We once will set a goal and then we're like, oh, maybe I'd be okay with this. And then you lower it more and then you lower it more. I'll probably gain the weight back anyways. I'm probably not disciplined enough. Oh, my hormones will probably get in the way. Oh, my life circumstances. Oh, it works for everybody else, but not for me. Oh, and then we start, I'm too old. I failed too many times. Maybe I'll start Monday I'll start in January. Circumstances will be better. Those thoughts, they don't always feel negative, but do you see? They're the same pattern. They are a way that we try to protect ourselves. Sometimes those thoughts, those stories have become so familiar that we mistake them for truth, right? But they're not truth. They're a story your mind created after pain, after disappointment. Here's the thing, those moments in your life that maybe you did fail, maybe things didn't work out, maybe there was no's, maybe there was, disappointment. It doesn't make it ultimately true. It just means in that season of your life, you didn't know what you know now, right? Maybe those things weren't meant to work out because you needed to learn a lesson from that. Here's the thing that I want you to hear today. I don't think most people aren't trying. I really don't. I think most women are trying. I think you are trying. But I also think that many of us aren't giving ourselves fully to the process, right? We're half-assed trying. Because if we full-ass try and it doesn't work out, then that pain that we remember, that pain, it feels too heavy. So, I think we give ourselves half-heartedly to the process. And not because you don't care, but because somewhere deep down, a part of us is afraid of feeling that disappointment again. So we unknowingly, we hold ourselves back, right? We stop one rep early. We skip the workout. We don't apply for the job. We don't start the business. We don't speak up when we want to say the thing that we want. We don't sign up for the race or the competition, right? We don't tell someone how we feel. We don't give ourselves permission to dream again, or say what it is that we truly, truly want. Because if we never fully commit, then maybe it won't hurt quite as much when it doesn't work out. But here's the problem. The very thing that's trying to protect us can also be the thing that's keeping us stuck. And as I sit here today, I keep thinking, I wish my daughter could borrow my belief. I wish she could see what everyone else sees. I wish she knew that when I watch her warm up, I don't see someone who's not good enough. I see someone who's growing into herself. I see someone who's becoming. I see potential. And honestly, I wish I could say the same thing to you. I wish I could go into your brain. I wish I could give you my eyes to see your potential. I wish I could give you my belief. I wish that I could give you my belief just for a day, because I don't see someone who can't. I don't see someone who's broken. I don't see someone who's incapable. I don't see someone who can't change. I see someone who is carrying a story that's become heavier than it was ever meant to be. I see someone who has forgotten just how capable she really is. I see strength. I see courage. I see resilience. I see someone who has overcome so many things in her life, who has survived hard things, who's someone who has fallen, but they've chosen to get back up. I see someone who has so much more inside of them than you are giving yourself credit for, right? It's like we have overcome so many things. You have done so many hard things, but yet when it comes to self relationship, when it comes to your dreams, when it comes to your body, when it comes to your health, you doubt yourself. You stop just before the mark. You lower the bar just a little. And so when we do that, we don't fully put the effort in, because if we put the effort in this time and it doesn't work out, it'll be too painful. But here's the thing. When you stop yourself from the pain that it would feel, you also stop yourself from the joy that you'll experience, right? Because there's both sides of the coin. You know, we don't get the peaks without the valleys. We don't get the joy without the pain. So we have to be willing to dance with life a little bit, knowing that in through the pain, through the valleys, there's lessons that strengthen us for the mountain peaks, that actually make us feel the joy, right? So if we can look at it as, if I give my everything and I don't quite get exactly what I expected, that's okay, because I put my all into it and I'm going to grow that much more. And if I do, then I'm going to be so proud because I actually went for it, right? Let me ask you something. What if you believed that too? What if you believed that you actually have what it takes? What if you allowed yourself to believe that you have everything inside of you? Because here's the thing, the power of your belief is the thing that is going to get you to where you want to be. Your belief in yourself is more powerful than anything in the whole universe. You have to believe that you are becoming the woman who can, who will, who has what it takes. You have to start thinking differently, seeing differently. You have to start asking yourself, the woman that I want to be, how would she show up? How would she speak to herself? What workout would she do? What food choices would she make? How would you finally show up for your life differently? How would you show up for your workout differently? What weight would you actually start lifting in your workouts, right? What clothes would you start wearing? How would you start speaking? What opportunities would you start going for? What would you stop waiting until you felt confident? What would you stop stopping yourself, right? Until, we feel that confident feeling. I will when I feel this way. And what would you actually start having the courage to take that step? What would you stop comparing your chapter 2 to someone's chapter 20? Because here's the thing, comparison has a way of stealing our perspective. When all you're doing is looking sideways, you stop noticing how far you've actually come forward. And I watch that with my daughter. She's always comparing to, these other girls. Well, they're like fastest girls. I said, well, great, you're running You're running beside the fastest girls. That's just going to make you level up. So when you see a woman that maybe has the things that you want, has the body you want, is doing things that is making you jealous or envious, what is that saying about what's in you? Why don't you let that fuel you? If she can do it, I can do it, right? Stop seeing it as that you don't have it. And maybe that you do. Maybe that's calling something inside of you. Here's what I know. You don't need to become someone completely different. You need to stop believing the story that is convincing you that you can't. Here's the thing, your potential has never been the problem. It's the story standing between you and your potential that is. And here's the beautiful thing about stories is that they can be rewritten. So this week, instead of asking yourself, what if I fail? Or making statements like, I'm not good enough. Try asking yourself, try telling yourself, what if I've been underestimating myself all along? What if I start believing and start increasing my effort? What if the woman you are becoming isn't waiting for more confidence? What if she is simply waiting for you to believe that she's already inside of you? My friend, you don't have to believe in yourself perfectly today. Borrow my belief. I believe in you. Hold on to that. Connect to that energetically. Just connect to it. If you could close your eyes and be like, grab it in your hand. I'm handing to you now my belief in you. And I'm saying you have everything you need inside of you. Grab it with your hand and hold it in your heart, your mind, and say, I'm going to borrow this belief. You can even say it out loud. I'm going to borrow Coach Hannah's belief in me. And I'm going to go after it. I'm going to believe that I have what it takes. Borrow the belief that you have what it takes. That the dreams that you want are already yours. You can borrow my belief because I've walked through this. I've been through this. And then borrow it and keep showing up. Keep stepping out with courageous action. And here's the thing about courage. It doesn't have to be something huge. Your courage could just be getting up earlier in the morning and dealing with maybe not being a morning person, but saying, I love this version of me and I'm going to have the courage to just get up earlier and spend time with myself. It could be doing the workout. It could be doing the meal prep. It could be just trying again. I'm going to try again and have the courage to try again. And I'm going to believe Borohana's belief that says, I have the ability to do this, right? Here's the thing. Confidence doesn't come before commitment. Confidence grows because you keep showing up and you stick to those commitments. One choice, one workout, one meal, one conversation, one courageous step at a time. That's it. That's all. You guys, thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I don't take this lightly. Time is our most valuable asset. I hope that your heart feels encouraged today. I hope that your mind feels strengthened. I hope you have a new perspective. And as you are listening to this episode, if anybody came to your heart, your mind, that you're like, even maybe it's your daughter, I just encourage you to share it with them. Maybe it was your mom, maybe it was your friend, share it with them. And if it was just you, that's amazing. Let me know. Let me know that this hit your heart. Everything is in the show notes, including my email, social media handles. You could let me know maybe what part really hit you about this. Maybe this is what you needed to hear for your daughter, just like me. And we can use this as moms to speak into our children to help maybe shift their perspective as well, right? Remember, you don't become her by chasing her. You become her by choosing her. That is it. You have to choose her today, no matter how scary it feels. But I believe in you. Believe in yourself. That's it. That's all. I will see you next week, my friend. Bye for now.